is Friday, October the 2nd, and I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. I'm pausing as I'm going along because my brain is like, okay, is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday, right? Okay, yeah, it's my daily thought, right? It's like I'm second guessing myself. That's why my start off was, there was pausing involved. Okay. First of all, thank you to those who have been watching and listening. And I mentioned yesterday, I had talked about the intro, but I don't believe I had said that you have to watch the videos to see the new intro. So, yeah, the intro that happens before the show is about 30 seconds long. And when I ripped the sound out, I didn't want to rip that out too, to put up on the podcast, because I felt like a 30-second introduction would be kind of and then it would be a point of, all right, well then, do I just take the 30 seconds and chop it down and do this and do that, which I possibly could do and I may do, but I doubt it, So we'll see. It depends on what my mood is. Everything's on a case-by-case basis. But for now, the intro to the show that was created is a visual intro. In order to see it, you have to watch one of the videos, and you can watch the videos, which it recently started with the episode yesterday for My Daily Thought on October the 1st. So from yesterday going forward, you'll be able to see it on YouTube or Daily Motion. If you're watching this on YouTube or Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. And that will let you know when I upload new videos. Keeping it real with KC, KIRWKC. You can tell my mind is like all over the place. I have too many things going on in my head right now. KIRWKC for Twitter or Twitter and Instagram. Facebook.com/KIRWKC. Okay, I'm trying to keep a straight face. The reason I'm laughing is because I'm thinking about a bunch of things, and one of the things I'm thinking about is the chicken that's boiling right now. For those who listen to the show or watch the show, you know I boil chicken all the time. So yeah, it's boiling right now. And the water is coming out of the pot a little bit and I can hear it, but yeah. I'm gonna do that, and then once it's done boiling for an hour and some change, I shall throw it in the pan and fry it up a little bit, or saute it, however you want to say it, and do that. You can tell I have a little bit more energy, which was weird. I woke up at 5 this morning. I tried to go back to sleep, but I couldn't. So once it hit, I was in the bed just thinking about things. And once it hit about 2 minutes till 6, I was just like, okay, forget it. I'll go ahead and get up. And then I started my day. And it was kind of groggy and everything else. But as the day went on, the energy started to pick up. So here I am. Hopefully it will maintain. Keep your fingers crossed. As for my sleeping last night, I didn't get 5 hours straight, but I did get sleep. Where even though I woke up, when I went back to sleep, it was really good. And there was one moment where I slept for about, I want to say almost 3 hours straight, where I took the covers and put them over my head. And I think that did something for me and helped out a lot. So, yeah, everything's good on that point. All right, let's get into my daily thought because I have to get this done. I mentioned this before yesterday when the theme this week has sort of been about authenticity. And I'll go more into that one day. It's just not going to be today. But part of being authentic with people is people being able to trust you, and vice versa, where they where they can trust you and you can trust them. And also what goes with that is once you've built trust, the next layer of that is loyalty. Will somebody be loyal to you? Now, okay, I'm really hoping this pot doesn't boil over. I'm like looking at it right now. I'm hearing it. I'm getting distracted. All right. With loyalty, I'll tell you, I'm going to be broad about this because I don't know if the statute of limitations are up yet. And I seriously mean this. I don't know if the statute of limitations are up yet. So I'm going to be broad about this. I used to, once upon a time, deal with some people. And I knew certain things. I was still insulated. I made sure that I kept myself insulated enough where if I was put in the hot seat, there wouldn't be too much information I could give. However, I did know at the time certain things. I was privy to certain things. Certain things I didn't want to know about. And this was a long time ago. And the people that I dealt with, they were very good to me. They were very loyal. Where if I needed something, it wasn't any question. It was like, consider it done, almost regardless of what it was. And anything I was ever able to do for them legally, because legally, need to make that clear, legally, anything I was ever able to do for them legally, and that's where it comes to setting boundaries. Check out that episode. I would do it without a problem because I was loyal to them on that level. If by chance, and I knew it was a possibility, and I'm going to break it down like this. The stuff was on a level where certain people were banned from cities. And I'll leave it at that. Where certain people were banned from cities, where they couldn't step foot in the city. They were banned. So, dealing with those people at that time, in me being loyal as I am, I already knew it was a possibility, a small possibility, but still a possibility, that if something happened on their end with all of the stuff they deal with, then the feds could have came and picked me up too. Because when the feds are trying to build a case, they're going after anybody and everybody. They don't care how little the connection is. If they feel they can squeeze information out of someone, then the feds are going to go ahead. You're going to have to lawyer up, period. So I was always aware that that was a possibility dealing with those people. Because I am loyal, if it would have ever come to that, regardless, I even if I would have known something which I didn't really know much purposefully, but even if I had, I wouldn't have said anything because of everything those people had done for me, of how they rocked for me. They had shown that they were loyal time and time again to me. And I would have shown the same if put on the spot. Now, when it comes to loyalty, everything's on a case-by-case basis. Again, balance. You don't want to be loyal to a fault for everybody. And that's the one thing I had to learn. My problem was going throughout life, I was loyal to people that weren't fully loyal to me. Not like those individuals that I mentioned. Those individuals were rock solid when I dealt with them. Rock solid people. But other people that I've met throughout life, when things get crazy, and I'm not talking about on some legal stuff with feds or anything like that. I'm just talking about life in general. Where things get crazy, the true colors show. But me, I was the one still being loyal. You know. But I've learned to limit who I'm loyal to, just like I've learned to limit who I share my energy with. Because there's a lot of barriers up to get to me. And one of those reasons is because I'm not saying this to brag or anything, but I'm trustworthy and I'm very loyal. When I rock with you, especially if you've shown that you're willing to go over the cliff. I was just thinking about Thelma and Louise earlier, and I cannot believe I don't own that movie. And I was thinking about that. I was like, is that movie in my collection? That's one of my favorite movies. And I was like, I have to own Thelma and Louise, but I'm going to have to go through my video collection later and see. But with Thelma and Louise, if you haven't seen that movie, spoiler alert, they go over the cliff at the end because the cops had them pinned and they were just like, okay. Instead of turning themselves in, they were at a cliff. They just drove over the cliff, and that's how the movie ended. Which it amazes me every single time I've watched it. I've watched Thelma and Louise I don't know how many times. And that's why I'm like, I can't believe I don't own it. I feel like I do, but I'm going to check that later. And if I don't, it's going to be bought this weekend. But that's the type of loyalty that I believe in, where we go over the cliff. I'll do it for you, you do it for me. If it's a relationship. Now, check out my episode, Should You Sleep with Someone Who's Married? I forgot what episode. I think it's episode 31, maybe? Something like that. You can find it in there, Should You Sleep with Someone Who's Married? And I mentioned the different types of relationships. Now, for those who have open relationships and all that other stuff, that doesn't apply here. But for those who are in monogamous relationships, that's loyalty. For those who agreed to be in a monogamous relationship, that's loyalty. Where regardless of what comes in front of you, or what comes on to you, you're like, no thanks. That's loyalty. In friendships, if you rock with someone and that person's name that you rock with happens to come up in a conversation with someone else, and they start saying things that are kind of unflattering about the person you rock with, that's where loyalty comes in at. Where are you going to speak up or not? You don't have to come out of a bag on them, but where you say, hey, I rock with this person, I can appreciate your feelings on that, but just know on my end, this person's a good person. I need to make sure that that's clear on my end. Especially if that person isn't there to defend themselves. Because that's what loyalty is. Just like one person I used to rock with, a lot of people didn't like her. But if anybody said anything about her in front of me, then out of loyalty, I would go ahead. Me and the shirt is reaching today. I would go ahead and speak up for that individual. That's called loyalty. Is something that I consider is priceless. Some people say loyalty is royalty. Loyalty is priceless. It is hard to find people who are authentic and their default is not self-preservation. Now, self-preservation is cool in certain situations, because eventually you have to weigh out everything. But you know what? On the self-preservation side, you could have self-preservation and still be loyal, as long as you're able to make it clear to whoever is involved that, hey, this is the situation that came up. I rock with you, but I've weighed all the stuff out, and it's not going to work for me to go this route. I'm going to have to go the other route, because too many things are going to fall apart if this falls down on me. If you're letting them know what the deal is, then I still call that being loyal, that you're willing to let them know what the deal is and stuff. But like I said before, loyalty is rare. Trust, as I mentioned before this week, is rare. When you meet people who you can trust with your secrets, or to come through when you need something or whatever, that's rare. If you meet someone who is loyal to you, when you walk away, you don't have to even think about them speaking bad about you or saying something negative about you. Or, let me put this on out, or they won't say anything about you that they can't say to your face. That's the other thing. And that is connected to loyalty as well. Loyalty and trust, where they won't say anything about you that they can't say to your face. Because for me, those who I'm cool with, those who know me, anything I say when they're not present, I can say it while they're present. And if they're cool, fine. If they're not, fine. I don't care. Because how I feel is how I feel. If, as my mother says, if that's the way I see it, that's the way it is. But there are people out there who aren't authentic, where they can't do that. When they walk away, they'll say certain things, but when they're around you and something gets brought up about what might have been said, they get selective amnesia. Those are the type of people that you can't trust. Those are the type of people that aren't loyal. And again, finding people who you can trust, finding people who are loyal, finding people also that I mentioned this week who want to know how you're doing instead of what you're doing. These people who are out there, and they exist. They're just rare. But those type of people, I want everyone to learn to appreciate those people more. Because when those people leave your life, whether it is the universe is saying, okay, it's time for them to go, as in leave this earth, or they walk out of your life, you're going to feel it. You will feel it. Especially when you see all the other people in the world who aren't authentic, who you know you won't be able to trust, who you know won't be loyal, who you know don't call you just to see how you're doing. They call you to see what you're doing. Loyalty is a huge thing. So when you find someone who is loyal, and I'm not talking about just on a relationship level, I'm just talking about period in life. When you find someone in your life that is loyal, that you know is willing to go over the cliff with you, cherish that relationship. Whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, or whatever. Cherish that relationship. Because it's everything. So, and that's all I have for my daily thought. Now, let me say this again, and I can say it with certainty without second guessing myself. KIRWKC.com is the main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. If you are watching this on Daily Motion, which is a lovely video platform as well, don't forget to hit the subscribe button there. To everyone who's been watching, to the new listeners who have come aboard, because I glanced at the analytics today and there was a ridiculous jump again in all the countries that have been listening to this podcast and watching the videos when you can. But as I said before, the podcast itself seems to be more popular than the videos, and I'm fine with that. Thank you. It means more to me than you will ever know. So shout out to all of the countries where everyone they've been listening to the podcast. To everyone, I love you more than you will ever know. Until next time, be blessed.